Tulolo.
Some upsets here, huh? Who do you think? Who you picking? All Blacks. Come on.
Play! Let's go, boys. Let's go, boys.
Back in Las Vegas for the plate semifinal. The USA taking on their neighbors to the north, Canada. Now the good news for the USA, they do get Matt Hawkins back. They lost him because of an infraction in the last game, but how huge is that to have him back on the field?
Well, not only is he rested, but he's just such a presence out there, such a big heart, always going forward, always trying to find a great lane to run through. Just leads by example.
Rasta Rashavenge of South Africa will be our official for this match. All right, Brian, give us some keys for Team USA. What is critical for them to have success today?
Well, they can't turn the ball over. That's what they've done in the last few tournaments. They lead the series in turnover differential. They just need to hold on to the ball, and Canada's a very strong side.
So the Americans looking for a fast start, something they haven't had in this tournament so far. Hawkins with the ball, gives it up to 11 Hawley. This is Blaine Scully, number 10.
Scully's one of those go-forward guys, too, from Cal, and he's just kind of programmed to go forward. Very strong, just coming back from a rehab injury.
And a turnover. And something you said the Americans couldn't do, and that's turn it over, and it gets into the hands of Jeff Hassler, who has had a tremendous tournament.
Americans are going to be penalized here for an infraction in the ruck. Zach Test getting some attention.
Yeah, we're playing on.
So Zach Test having his right ankle looked at, and in Rugby Sevens, the play continues as long as the player isn't in the field of play. For more on Zach Test, let's check in with Marty Snyder. And Canada with the first try, 5 points.
Yeah. We're playing on, it's not part of play.
Nathan Hirayama with a beautiful piece of running there, Brian.
Yeah, it all started from the turnover, and Canada very creative. Lots of experience. Nate Hirayama's father played for Canada as well. Duratalo just can't get to that tackle. Hirayama is just too fast. Crucial conversion.
So 2-point conversion on the foot of Hirayama, and now we check in with Marty Snyder.
Well, Todd, exactly the start the U.S. did not want, and I talked to Zach Test before this match started. He told me this is our biggest rival, so it's a lot of emotion today, but we can't play emotional because when we do that, we play and we don't communicate. What we have to do is treat this as any other game and communicate on the field, not the start the U.S. wanted.
Absolutely. So Alex Magleby, the head coach of Team USA, has to once again bring his team from behind. And here goes Canada, and a breakaway as John Moonlight finds daylight, and another try to Canada.
Well, again, a turnover on the restart, a ball that's knocked forward at the kickoff.
Even despite taking a shot to the head, Moonlight having no problem as the referee got involved there, and right up the middle. No one home in the secondary for Team USA. And just like that, it is Canada who has jumped out to a double-digit lead, 14-0 on top of the Americans.
Well, they got to take a few deep breaths and just up their concentration and focus here. Huge kickoff by Kieran Hearn.
Oh! And that's number 11. And unfortunately, the 25-year-old Colin Hawley, a former Cal Bear, comes down squarely on his back.
Well, you want to see an example of putting your body on the line for your team. Colin Hawley goes up for this kickoff, and Jeffrey Hassler, number 8 for Canada, is also going for the ball in the air, so it's not a penalty, but Hawley comes down hard. The bench on the United States is pretty thin right now. Jack Halalilo, I saw him this morning, his eye was closed shut. They think there might be something from the contact on his face yesterday, prevents him from coming back in. They don't want to risk Halalilo, so we probably won't see him. Luke Hume has an ankle issue. That's just a hard hit.
And amazingly enough, Hawley's going to stay on the field.
Well, and they got to up their defense right here.
So scrum to Canada, already up 14-0. Big collision there.
Oh, Hawley puts his body on the line again and just runs into Hassler. Going to work in the ruck, and full-on Neo turns it over. There's Hawkins.
So the Americans looking for some kind of spark here in the second half. And on the turnover, it'll go back to the U.S.
And you can see Hawley bent down on a knee there for the United States.
I asked you this earlier in the tournament, Brian, about another squad, but is Canada an emerging nation that should be contended or thought of as we look towards Rio in 3.5 years?
Absolutely, and if this squad can stay together, they've got them all assembled in Victoria. They're getting help from the government. They're being able to play a lot of sevens together, and it's shown in their performances. Every team on this series doesn't want to play Canada. Carlin Isles with the first touch.
And that's something we haven't seen many teams do, and that's contain Carlin Isles. It looked like he stepped into touch.
Well, you see him, he got around Hassler, and Kieran Hearn just starts taking an angle towards the sideline as soon as he sees Isles with the ball.
You're wasting time.
Hassler has no chance, but Hearn has the angle, and Isles slips down, goes out of bounds, and Canadian line out. Free ball for Hawkins.
Number 10, Blaine Scully knocked to the ground. A golden opportunity for the Americans.
U.S. needs to score. Zach Test on the corner. Great drive by Matt Hawkins. Scully digs the ball out. It's a penalty against Canada. Scully goes quickly. Held up by Moonlight. Hawkins stretches. Oh, he's knocked the ball on.
So a knock on right at the try line. It'll be a turnover to Canada.
Just loses the handle. A staunch Canadian defense. There's John Moonlight. He prevents Scully from going to the line. Hawley's there. Hawkins finds it. Tries to go for the line, but the ball's knocked out of his hands by Nathan Hirayama. Those are the kind of plays that make a difference in the result.
Well, you see the stats, 4 missed tackles for the Americans. Matt Hawkins.
Looked like Canadian Kieran Hearn getting some attention. The number 10, he steps off the field. On comes Harry Jones for Canada to replace him.
Touch, set. Taken in.
Canada. Technically Canada. We'll get a little chippy in there. You know, there's not a whole lot of love lost between these teams. It's always physical. The scrum will occur, Todd. Even though the clock has wound to 0, the U.S. has one chance to end the half with a score.
half.
So the Americans to put in on this scrum.
Sit.
They've got to keep it going. No turnovers here. The half will come to an end. Scully. He's bottled up. Ball comes out.
Penalty against Canada. U.S. still has a chance. Can't end the game on a penalty.
This is Carlin Isles.
Isles dances. Oh, he breaks the tackle. Great job by Isles. He feeds the ball back. Hawley to Hawkins.
And the Americans are on the board. Matt Hawkins with his 47th try in the World Series.
Great job by Carlin Isles. He breaks the tackle. Now the presence of mind to slip the ball back to your teammate. Great running line by Hawkins. Gives Taylor Paris a little nudge, and Folau Niau to convert.
And Niau with a huge kick yesterday against Spain gives 2 more points. The Americans now trail 14-7 at half.
This game is for the Shield Final.
Players fueling up in the morning with their favorite Subway $5 footlongs like the turkey breast and the Italian BMT. The biggest footlong event of the year is here. February at Subway, the official train restaurant of USA Sevens Rugby.
$5 footlong.
We're ready for second half play. USA trailing Canada 14-7 as the Americans got a try and a conversion at the very end of the first half. Once again, turnovers being a problem for the Americans. They gave up 2 quick tries in the first 2 minutes of that first half, and they've been playing catch-up ever since, Brian.
Well, in a bad start, Folanio just misses the ball off his foot. It doesn't go 10 meters, and it does go out of bounds as well. So Canada starts with a free kick at the halfway line.
Piece of running. Connor Traynor taking it all the way down to the 22-meter line as his squad has the 7-point lead. 7-minute halves.
Nobody's going to go to the corner on Isles. Yeah, the addition of Isles has really changed up the way teams have to defend, but also the way teams have to attack. They can no longer run around the United States because of Isles. Taylor Paris with the ball for Canada. It should be an easy try here.
Yes. And once again, Jeff Hassler, who has been quite a revelation for their head coach, Garen John.
Who scored a hat trick yesterday in the first half of a game, and now Hassler hanging out on the corner. Gets the easy pass from Tyler Ardren. United States just stretched in defense, and it all comes from turning the ball over in the kickoff to start the game. Just those little mental errors for the United States have piled up again and again.
And that conversion, no good. So it's 19-7, Canada on top. Remember, 5 points for the try, 2 points for the conversion. So the Americans now trailing by 12 as we go under 5 minutes to play in this plate semifinal.
Well, they're two scores down, and the United States certainly can get back into this game, but they need to do something positive, and they can't allow Canada to score again. Neo takes the kickoff. U.S. players go to work at the ruck. Easy ball. And something for Isles to run on.
Can't keep it in bounds, so it goes to touch to Canada.
Well, Isles, you know, he's still learning the game. I think that ball should have been kicked. Hirayama finds a gap in the defense. Great open field tackle.
And once again, Canada knocking on the door for another try.
And Hawkins goes in, grabs the ball. Hassler holds on to it. It's a penalty against Canada. United States going the other way, trying to find room for Carlin Isles. Offsides in the ruck. Canada coming in from the wrong side.
Connor Traynor.
They'll slow down, take a deep breath.
With the clock running, Brian, at 3:40 to play and the Americans trailing by 12, does this change completely the way they like to play rugby sevens?
Now, there's plenty of time on the clock. Duratalo. Zach Test with a break. Zach Test. 1 to beat.
And Zach Test with the try.
And crucially, grounds it in between the posts. Should be an easy conversion to get the U.S. within a try. Great backhanded pass there by Andrew Duratalo. Test, watch him start to swerve. He brings Taylor Paris in, then out, then spins. Paris doesn't know what to do.
So the conversion attempt comes straight away from where the downward pressure of the ball on the try was completed. And a miss.
Looks like it went under the post.
Luke Hume.
Well, I don't know why Hume's kicking that ball. Folanio has been kicking for the United States. I don't know if Hume was trying to hurry things up because they know they need to score again. But that was disastrous, and it may prove to be the difference in this game.
So instead of 19-14, it is 19-12, so the Americans are going to need another try and a successful conversion and a penalty on Canada.
Hume goes quickly. Hume finds space. Oh, cynical foul here.
Oh, you got a yellow card coming.
Taylor Paris exits the scene, and the United States will be a man up for the rest of this game. Luke Hume tries to go himself. He doesn't make it. Folanio, will he go himself again? Yes, he does. He grounds it on the line and he scores.
So 2 quick tries by the Americans. Now they trail by 2. Taylor Paris in the sin bin, and the Americans are a conversion away from tying this thing up.
Well, now the conversion even more important. All the ball has to do is touch the line. Folanio just gets it. The conversion is good. So the United States, tied with Canada, still has a man advantage. Almost a minute left on the clock.
And how important was that 2-point conversion missed moments ago? That would have made it a 21-19 USA lead, and a knock on by the Canadians.
Yeah, Nanyakdala just can't find the handle, and there's a huge break for the United States. They'll have the scrum and the ball with a 1-man advantage in 33 seconds.
Head coach Alex Magleby looking on. After an emotional victory, they had to win with a point differential by Spain. Niao got the conversion for the final play of the game, and that took them in to the cup round.
Isles can't find space. They bottle him up. Now they've got him isolated and held up. And that's the one. The ball was knocked forward by the United States, and that's one of the downsides of Isles, is that he's so small that if he gets tied up in the tackle, he can be easily manipulated. He doesn't find his way to the ground. Ball gets turned over. Now Canada has the ball. Nobody wants to go to overtime.
Remember, in overtime, it is sudden death. First team to score is your winner.
Looks like Taylor Paris is back in. Canada is full strength again. Penalty against the United States. Canada going forward.
So despite the fact the clock is at 0, play continues with Canada maintaining the ball. Game can't end on a penalty. Hawkins kicks it out. That will end regulation, and we are going to overtime. We'll have the overtime period when we return to Las Vegas. Overtime here between Canada and the United States. All knotted up.
Crucial restart here.
Has to go 10. The Americans touch it, and so Canada takes advantage.
Well, it's easy. Score and keep playing. Lose and go home. Nanyakdala. Penalty, though, says the referee. Offsides against the United States. Defense crucial here. Taylor Paris calling the play. Great tackle by Hume on Nanyakdala.
Oh, and a knock-on. Paris couldn't handle the ball, knocked forward. Americans catch a break. First team to score is your winner.
Hawkins Tries to find Jack Test. Test slips.
And
Canada's going to get the ball back.
This is the third day of competition. Both teams absolutely fatigued. It'll be a line out to Canada.
That pass just doesn't find Zach Test, and Canada gets a line out. Every possession crucial, even more so in this game in overtime. Taylor Paris dances Rocco Maurer in for the United States. Hariyama, great pickup. Moonlight.
Stays on his feet, finds an open man. Dalla takes it in for Canada. It's the Canadians getting it done in overtime. 28-year-old Nanyak Dalla, the captain of Team Canada. His second try this week in Las Vegas, and the biggest one as he takes down the United States in sudden death OT. They win it by 5. Right now, let's send that down to Marty Snyder, who is standing by with Captain Matt Hawkins of Team USA.
Well, Matt, your reaction to that one, I mean, that's a heartbreaker when you lose in sudden death, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we wanted. We wanted to finish the game out in the 14 minutes that we had, and we didn't, and that's our fault. So, you know, congratulations to them and good luck for the final.
I heard you say in the halftime huddle, they're challenging us. Was it too chippy, you think, at points?
I think sometimes we let our emotions get the best of us. You know, unfortunately, that's what it is when you play Canada, and we weren't playing smart. You know, the guys had the guts, and we were there where we needed to be, but you know, we made too many mistakes and gave away too many penalties, unfortunately.
Overall, how would you say the effort of the team was this weekend?
Effort was great, but the results weren't what we wanted. So, you know, we've got to go back to the drawing board, and we've got to expect more from each other.
Thanks, Matt.
All right, cheers.
Todd?
All right, thank you very much, Marty. Brian, assess Team USA, their performance this weekend.
Well, better than we saw last week in Wellington. Still lots to improve on, but I like the grit that they played with, and they seem to start playing for each other towards the end of the tournament.
So for Team USA, the tournament draws to a close. All that's left is to sign autographs for the fans who turned out. Great crowd here at Sam Boyd Stadium, but in the end, it wasn't enough as the Americans go down to defeat to Canada in overtime in a very gritty play. And finally, last year, was the Spain win just, did it take too much out of the Americans?
I don't think it was the Spain win, but I think just the tournament itself, and it's such a grind to play 2 weeks in a row, and I think injuries have cost the United States their depth.
They will regroup and get ready for Hong Kong in a few weeks as the World Series rolls on. That will do it for our coverage here on the NBC Sports Network. There's plenty more rugby still to come. Want to remind you to turn over to NBC for more non-stop rugby action from Las Vegas, Nevada, which is all leading up to the Cup final. Who will hoist the Cup this year here in Las Vegas, in the entertainment capital of the world? But for now, for my colleagues Brian Hightower and Marty Snyder, and all of our NBC Sports crew, I'm Todd Harris saying so long for now. We'll see you over on NBC.